Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Uh-huh. So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
And now for something completely different.
Of all the gin joints in all the towns in all the world, she walks into mine.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal.
I knew I should have taken that left turn at Albuquerque.
And welcome, everybody, to another episode of Reality and Publishing Comics with me, Paul Gomez. How's everyone doing this week? I hope everyone's doing good. I do have a guest, Corissa Grant. I don't know if she's here yet or not. There she is.
Yeah, I've been here for 20 minutes.
Yeah, sorry about the delay. Yeah, we had a few things going on in the background. How are you doing?
I
today?
know. Good. Oh. I was listening to everything.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. So,
No,
you know,
good.
this episode, I really wanted to talk about setting stuff up for things, you know, setting stuff up for cons, setting stuff up for Kickstarters, especially, because that's currently where I'm at the beginning of setting stuff up for Kickstarter. I find it one of the hardest stages in creating comics is probably setting everything up for launch, for that Kickstarter, for, you know, going on the interviews, getting, you know, everything set up to just launch that Kickstarter. I mean, sure, you have that anxiety once you hit that launch button and that hope and desire that you actually reach that goal, but it's really the hardest part is right before it. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah. Finding podcasts, setting up I wish I could just hit duplicate for the Kickstarter and then just edit. I don't know why they don't do that, because most of us are comic books, so it's almost always the same except for the new added issue. So I don't know why they don't do that. It would make my life a lot easier.
Right.
But mostly I paste and copy. I am going to try a new thing this time, because I've seen people do they name the tiers.
Yes.
So I'm going to name the tiers. And since mine is mostly like heavenly and hell stuff, I'm going to have the levels of angels and the levels of demons. And I'm going to try that, make it a little bit more coherent, because I just have a lot of... I put way too much into my campaign.
Yeah.
But I love my stuff, so I just keep adding on to it, so
yeah. I mean, it's really hard. Like I said, setting stuff up, the tiers especially. You have to figure out which tier, what you're going to put in each tier, and you're hoping to attract the attention to people. You know, you got those digital tiers, then you've got tiers with bonus items. You have your regular cover and your variant covers, and then retail tiers, and then special tiers. How do you figure exactly what you're going to put in them?
Mostly I pick so I do the regular tier, you know, like you said, the PDFs come first, and then I always add something especially this campaign. I think for issue 1, if people haven't come, they get like a sticker, only because everyone loves stickers. Mostly I do a lot of, like, I pick one thing to focus on. The tiers between $5 and $75 are mostly like little trinkets. Like I do posters, prints of covers, buttons, stickers, things like that. And then above that, I do something unique. Like I think this time I still have the 3D busts for Anubis, but I also have the statues that I had made. I have pillows this time, which I love the pillows. And I bought most of them for me, and then I'll just put a couple for others. And I have, the plushies I don't use. Anubis plushie I put in there.
Oh.
I know he's so cute. This was my emotional support. Anubis. He comes with me to the cons, and he's on every show with me. But yeah, I have the plushie available and keychains. But this, I didn't do a new keychain. Well, I guess I did. I have a little pillow keychain, but I'm getting the Anubis keychain for next time. But mostly I focus on the prints. I add prints because everyone loves the prints, the trading cards. I have bookmarks this time. I'm going to have 3 different stickers. One's the cute angry Anubis, which I love. I had a slight back and forth with Vinyl Disorder, which I love the name, with stickers, but like they're like, oh, you have to approve this proof, and like everything was wrong with it. It was like the sticker amount was, I'm like, it says 100, it's supposed to be 250. It's a square, it's supposed to be die cut. I selected no border, and you have white border. So I was like, so I can't really approve this. And then they sent it, they fixed everything with the amount, and then they sent it again. I was like, no, it has to be 250. So I have that, but I also have, I have the trading cards.
Yes.
From covers. This time I have something new, and I'm not sure if it's a stretch goal or if it's going to be added. Probably a stretch goal, but I have the Anubis fighting the demon bookmarks. So I have those, which are really, this is my banner, which I don't have up because I have my book signing this Saturday. So I have it packed away. And I just realized I have 2 banners packed away, and I have to figure out which one's which before I go. But yeah, what else do I have for the tier? The buttons. Oh, actually, I lied. I have 4 stickers because I have the mirror sticker. So you can't go wrong with stickers.
Right? Yeah, you definitely can't go wrong with stickers.
Well, I was really surprised because I'm really surprised. I did a poll on Twitter, and I put buttons, keychains, stickers, and magnets. And stickers won, which I was super surprised because I like that they won. They're lightweight. Yes. And because I screwed up my last campaign, I put the shipping as $5 without thinking. It was 4 books, so it wound up being 8. So I lost like $120 at shipping. Well,
yeah, shipping really gets you if you don't keep it in mind the right way.
Yeah, I screwed up by doing that. And then foil. Everyone loves foil. The only problem with foil is my company screws it up every time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gorgeous. So I don't know how it'll come across on the screen, but look how pretty it is. So I love the foil, but it's every time they send it to me, it scratches too much. And this time she's like, it's because it's black and the black scratches and this and that. I was like, I don't know. So they're replacing it, but we'll see how that goes. She thinks holochrome. Have you ever seen holochrome?
Yeah.
This is the same thing. I don't think it's. I know I have holochrome. I don't think it's the same thing. This is the holochrome. It does not look the same to me. No, I like foil way. She's out of her mind. But I like foil. I'm trying to find another company. I do love my company for printing comics because I mean, if anyone should hate them, it should be me. They held my issues from December 14th, January 5th, and February 11th. And then I made another one on February 28th. And I told them that it has to be shipped by March 9th. Or I have to, which is exaggeration. I was like, I have to cancel my book signing, which I don't think anyone's even come to my book signing. I know my clients they're all excited to come to my husband's not even here. So he's going to be away for the weekend. So he's not even coming to my book signing.
How dare he?
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. But I told him that because I needed them for Lexington, which I'm hoping will be big. I mean, the freaking thing's 4 days. So I was like, you need to ship them. So in their credit, they shipped all of it March 9th. And I had 9 huge, 100-pound boxes. The poor UPS man show up. And then my poor husband. So, but there's still 5 that I haven't unpacked yet. And I don't know if I showed you. I hate them so much. The piece of paper, they stapled to every single one.
Wow.
1,700 issues. I have to pull this freaking piece of paper off. So I'm slightly grumpy over that. But they look gorgeous.
Leave the paper on mine.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll leave the paper on yours. When I first saw it,
there's a reason. There's a reason. It's
What?
not mint once you tear that piece of paper off.
What? No.
Kind of serious.
My other issues didn't have it. This is the first time I've had it. Like my other ones, all my other shipments had one piece of paper in between. They weren't stapled on there.
Yeah, just leave it on mine.
I will leave it on.
Thank you.
I hate it. And when I first saw it, I freaked out because I thought they were all blank covers. So God, they sent me 1,700 blank covers. But yeah, I have to tear them all out. I can't. How am I going to display them?
And if you tear it off, all the other ones, I'll have the only one like that. Remember?
You better take care of it then, Pops. I'm actually sending mine to what is it called when you get it graded? I want to get
CBC.
Yeah, I want to get that. I want to get that graded. Not because it's going to be worth money, because that's probably not going to happen, but because it looks incredibly cool and fancy.
Well, and the thing about it, though, I mean, it does cost a little bit of money. Yeah. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday who's actually doing his own Kickstarter soon, and he said the reason that he's waiting to do the Kickstarter is because he put some of those graded books on the tiers.
Oh, really?
And I know a lot of customers that, I've had a few customers that came up to me and said, hey, do you have any graded ones to sell? And I haven't graded any of my books.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I know a few customers who have bought books and had them graded on site kind of thing at some of the cons. So I know a lot of people kind of are interested in that, but it does take a lot of time if you're sending them away. Because like I said, my friend's waiting for him to get his shipment back before he starts the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes up to like 6 months to get your book. Yeah.
I heard in Texas they do it on site, but I don't know.
Well, there's some cons. Some cons that do it on site. Some of them are witnessed, but I mean, there's only very few. And like I said, if you're sending it to get it slabbed and graded, it's going to take a while. I've heard it go up from 6 months to, even longer than that. So, I mean, if you're waiting to get it graded to get put on a Kickstarter, you're going to wait some extra time.
Now, I'll send it now, and then when it comes back, maybe I'll be popular enough that someone will actually want to buy it. So that'll work. I have a Kickstarter set for every other month. I have it April 18th, June 20th, August 13th, and October 3rd. And October 3rd is my last issue of book 1. It's like a double issue. It's 48 pages.
Wow.
And then I'm also releasing the paperback graphic novel for book 1 together. October is actually my 1-year anniversary doing comics and my 1-year anniversary finding my artist. And it's Halloween, and I'm a horror artist. So, and then it's it's like 9 days after my 3-year anniversary with my co-writer. So October is special. So here's hoping my artist can pull it off and get everything done. So no more vacations for a month. He's like, I'm going away on vacation in November. I was like, as long as it's after October. I don't care where you go. Because I'd like to release 1 book every October, Yeah. So I have 5 books, and then I have the spinoffs. So I'm good for 10 years. So if I can get people to stick around for 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it, like I say, is getting ready for the campaigns and trying to figure out everything that's going to go into them. To me, I find that the hardest part is finding interviews and podcasts to go on to promote your stuff. And I hear a lot from creators, how do I promote it better? How do I get to the audience better?
27.
Do I?
I have 27 booked.
Yeah. Well, again, and I keep saying, because that's a cute girl that's contacting them. Whenever you get a troll like me that's like, hey, put me on your show, they're like, you know what, go away.
No, that's not how it works.
I've got like 8.
Yeah, I have a ton, and I'm trying to see. I counted them before I came on, so I have 27. One's with you, and one's the launch with Laurie. And then the rest are interview with Paul. And then everyone else. I have a lot of new ones that I've never been on. But I really like the live ones because I think they're more fun and interactive.
And I agree. I mean, you get to talk to the customers, or you get to talk to people in chat answering questions. But some of the shows are a little bit different here and there. I like to go prepare myself by making sure I'm researching the shows and seeing some of the previous ones. Most shows that I go on, I've actually seen before, so I mean that's always a good thing. But sometimes you get on a show that's a little bit more unique and a little bit different, and they're going to hit you with questions that you're not exactly expecting.
Yeah, I have some that I got through. Well, one other one, but they had to cancel, and I'm going to recall it back. But there's this email thing called podcast something. And every week they send you, or twice a week, they send you shows looking for guests. And I didn't think that they actually wrote back because I did the free tier. I didn't, sign up. So I was like, they're not going to call me back. So 2 called me back or wrote me back. And I actually have one for next week. So we'll see how that goes. And then I don't know if that's a Zoom call. I don't like the ones off camera. I have like 2 that are off camera. My very first one ever was off camera, and they were amazing. That was Nerdy Old Men. They were awesome. But it was like a phone call, so you get like easily distracted. You just kind of like ramble on. That was my first time, and then I thought I would hate the camera. It's actually Laurie that got me into doing interviews. She's like, you got to be on camera. I was like, I don't want to be on camera. And now I think it's better on camera, but I also get a lot of love when I'm on camera. So, of course, now I prefer the camera. So, one of those things. But yeah. Go ahead.
The phone interviews are a little different. I've only had like 2 or 3 of those in the past, and it's a little bit different being on phone because you can't see the other person's reaction, or you don't have any feedback or whatnot. But like I said, there's been some interesting shows. There's been shows that kind of had you sing for them, and there's shows that kind of dive deep into your campaign. So you're definitely on edge sometimes. At least I have been, hoping that everything's right.
Yeah. Well, the shows that I've been on, I'm obviously more comfortable with. Like any Pops Network show, I love everybody. Like, Doc, even Rich, I can tolerate. But all the shows on Pops Network is great. Doc is amazing. Laurie, of course. So I love everyone there. So it doesn't matter if I've been on the show before. If they're on Pop's network, I feel completely comfortable with them. But I've had one or two that I could not stand. I hated them. Super nice people, but I did not like being on the show. One was way too short for me.
Right.
I ramble way too much. Thanks, Mom. I love you too. I love the whole network. It was too short, and as an Italian, I talk way too much for 20-30 minute show. An hour's great.
Oh, I've been on a 15-minute spot that they were going to put into their show, and so they basically interviewed that 15 minutes so they could.
Yeah.
And it was definitely something interesting because I didn't know.
I mean, I did 30 minutes with Pops and Crumb, and that wasn't too bad. But there wasn't like set questions that they asked me. This one was 20 minutes. And it was set questions, and it takes me more than 15 minutes to answer one question. So I was trying to like get it all out there. I feel more rushed with a 15-20 minute. 30 minutes to an hour is great. Sometimes 2 hours can be exhausting, except for, again, Pop's show, because, man, 2 hours go by and you're like, well, you got to go now. Like,
right?
I mean, yeah, I could do Pop's show all day.
I love all the shows that I've been on. I think the hardest ones for me have been if you have a host who isn't guiding the show that well, or if there's like dead air and you're like, should I talk even though the host is probably the one that should be guiding the show?
There was two other ones that I did where, again, super nice off camera, but on camera, very monotoned, very like, I'm obviously super loud, super, energetic. So it's hard to talk to someone that doesn't, provide anything back. And then I had one super, super condescending. Like everything he said was, trying to fix my problems or trying to fix whatever. And I was just like, I know I'm new at this and I know I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm not 5. So, and then it made me really awkward because he was kind of like, okay, now go pitch. And I'm like, well, you just put me down for an hour and a half. I don't really have the energy to pitch. And then I started to pitch and he interrupted me and goes, no, that's not how you do it. I'm like, okay. So I did not like that one. Again, super nice guy, especially off camera. And I talked to him for like an hour, but.
So, I mean, going into shows and stuff, prepping, do you get butterflies or do you do something special to get, I get butterflies, even though I've done maybe 100 shows already, it's like every time before I go into a show, I have to kind of have a drink and calm myself down because I'm like, man, I hope I don't look bad. Do you do anything before your shows?
I don't. I do freak out, except for, again, everyone but Pop's show. But I do freak out, like my heart pounds. And a lot of the times it's mostly because I think I have a fear of dead air. So like if they don't talk right away, I'll keep talking. And then I don't shut up and I ramble. And then I'm just like, am I supposed to then I'll pause. And they don't say anything, and I'm just like, do I keep talking? So, but yeah, I instantly, before any show, I don't have any ritual. I wanted to have like a check sheet, and I think my very, very first time I had a check sheet, I didn't even have any time to look at it. Mm-hmm. So I had nothing. But yeah, I try, there's nothing I can prepare for. I have my emotional support, Anubis. Oh. And I don't drink, so I don't have anything like that. But yeah, I just kind of like hope I don't freak out or anything.
I understand the whole check sheet thing. Usually what I do is, I put my comics right here beside me so I can just reach over and grab them, kind of show them off. Yeah. Another thing I used to do is I used to have a small little pocket notebook with a few questions that I had, even if it wasn't, something pertaining to my book, I'd write at least 2 or 3 questions that I could give to the host just in case it was a quiet area in the show. But it was always a list of like my digital links and stuff because I always forget those. Those were the hardest thing. Originally, I didn't have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And then at one point, I got it all down to one name. But at the beginning there were 3 different names, so I had to always write them down because everyone asked me, and I was like, you can find me somewhere.
Half the time I forget to promote my own stuff, but yeah, Batman Nerd says that he takes a shot of alcohol. See, I don't have that pleasure. I don't drink. I've never had alcohol really, so yeah.
I'd love to have like a bottle right next to me and be like, hey, but yeah, I don't drink, especially around my kids, and my kids are here just about 199% of the time. So
Yeah, I don't have kids, but I have annoying pets that won't shut the hell up. But like my cat will cry outside the door the whole time, and I'm just like, shut up. I swear, when I was in the apartment, I thought that somebody would like call the cops on me for abusing my husband, because I'd be like, Enzo, shut the hell up, like 3 times a day. And it's a damn cat. So, but yeah.
What about any preparations going into shows, like signings and stuff? Do you do? I mean, besides
I
getting,
don't know. I'll let you know next week.
Well, you've had a signing or 2, right?
No, I just my first book signing is this Saturday. So I'm gonna look like one of those people that I always felt bad for, sitting at the table by themselves with nobody around. And I always said I never want to do that. And then you freaks all convinced me to do it. So I'm like, well, all right. And I have 2. I have one at the con in my town, and then another one a little bit further away. Not too far, but I went to 2 mini cons. The first one was like a tag sale, and I hated it. I'm never doing that again. And then ironically, the next Saturday I had one that was half the price, and it was kind of a real con, but only one day. And that was a little better because they were there kind of knowing that there was some independent. I mean, the first one was just a tag sale of comics. I mean,
right.
It was from a comic book store, and I didn't know. He called it a mini con, but there was no guests, no independent creators,
Right.
no artists, no nothing.
Mhm.
It was awful. So no one really cared about independent, whatever. I
Well, you gotta make them care. You gotta get them and
you
wrap
come
them
and do
around
it
your.
for me, and that'll be fine.
I'll tell you what. You get me on shows, and I'll go sell your book at tablings. Okay.
That's fair. I could do that. Absolutely. People love me on their show. I don't know why. I think it's because they could talk bad about me after. I have no idea.
I'm telling you, it's because you're a pretty girl, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
I can't get on shows for the life of me.
Yeah. I don't know if it's it, but if it's
But yeah, no, I understand whenever you're tabling, it is a kind of hit and miss thing. The way I've always felt is you got to pay your dues, especially at the beginning. I've had a tabling where I think I sold $40 once, and thankfully it was just at an LCS, so I didn't lose any money, kind of thing. But I mean, you never know. Yeah, you never know whether it's going to be a good tabling or a bad tabling, and it's one of those things that you got to always put your best foot forward.
Yeah. I mean, it was the best thing about it is I made friends with my table neighbor. But the last one I did was a little better. So the first one I made $40. The table was 80. But I sold 4. It's a rush every time you sell one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then the next one I made 127, which wound up paying for both tables and dinner. But the rush was the first time 3 people bought 3 of the books. So they put more money into it, which was awesome.
And I usually don't throw out numbers, but like I said, I've had a tabling where I made $40, and that was kind of like my lowest one. But I've also had an LCS signing, a comic book store signing, which I was only there for like 3-4 hours. I think it was 4, and I think I made close to 1,000. So it's like one of those things. It's a hit and miss kind of thing, especially if you start building up that reputation in the area. Kind of, you never know what you're going to go into and what you're going to get. Some of these cons kind of might not have that crowd coming in, or they'll be like mini cons like you talk about. It's really one of those hard things to do. One of the things I do going into a tabling, whether it's an LCS or a con of any sort, is I try to see how it's done in the past, talk to people who have done those kind of cons and stuff to kind of give me an understanding of what I need to expect. I'm going into a con this week, and it's actually it's Midland, Texas. It's right around an area that they have a lot of oil fields. And this con I've actually been to, and I did really well. I've done well, in those kind of areas and close to bases. I guess that's because of my comic. But you never know what it's going to be like.
Well, I'm not sure if Comic Cons are better for me or horror cons. I don't know. I just signed up for a new one today. I don't know why it wasn't listed in the horror section, but
Right.
Pigeon Forge in Knoxville, like Gatlinburg area, they're having a horror con in September, and I said it was $200 for the table, so I bought that. So I have 11 this year. The 3 of them are horror cons, and I wanted to do Scarefest in Lexington, but it's $350, and even the coordinator wasn't sure if comics sell there, so he's like, I'm not sure. You can ask in the group, and no one really answered me. So I'm gonna see how these horror cons go, and if they go good, I'll try Scarefest because it's a huge con. It's the same where I'm going in Lexington next week, so it's a huge con.
And the truth of the matter is, you go into a con, you might have the success, and another person who's doing books right down the row of you might not have that success. I went to a con early on, and it really wasn't a comic con, but me and one other person were the only ones selling comics. I did fairly well, and the other person didn't exactly do so well. I thought the only reason I was doing well was because I was one of the only people selling books. You had comic book stores there, but you didn't have like artists and creators kind of thing, except for me and that other person. So, like I say, it really is a hit and miss, and it really is, how many people you can trip in front of your table.
Yeah, like those tire strips, just put those out. Yeah, we'll see how the horror cons go. One has my hero there, so I have to leave my table to get his autograph. It's James Olbars, so I'm bringing my Crow graphic novel, and I'm bringing one of his lesser comics that just happened to be at the last comic book shop I went to. So I'm going to bring those, and I'll have my husband man the table because it's only like 30 minutes from the house. He probably won't sell anything, and he probably doesn't know how to work the machine. But anyway, he'll watch the table. But that's the only thing I'm going to figure out is. Yes. So I have 2 really big ones this year that are 3 days. Well, this one's 4 days. So I have Lexington Con, which I'm bringing my plushies because it's toy and comic. Yeah. And I picked the table specifically on the outside of Artist Alley by the stage. So when they're perusing regular vendors, I'm there on that side. And I'm surprised that it was even available. Because I would think that you would want that. Because I guess maybe people want to be inside Artist Alley, but I'm like not, I'm kind of a vendor, but I want a cheaper table, so I took the Artist Alley table. I mean, it's like half the price, if not. Yeah. Well, I think it was $250. I'm not sure. My most expensive one is Huntsville, and I didn't want to go to Alabama, and nothing against Alabama. I've never been there, and it's further away. It's 3.5 hours. And I never heard of Huntsville, but apparently every single person, the reason why I did it was I went to a con just to attend it, to walk around. And there was an independent guy there that he said Huntsville, he made more in one day than any other con put together. So I'm fine. I went home and I looked it up. All the Artist Alleys were sold out. The vendor table was $350. And I was like, well, fine. I'm going on blind faith here. So I did that. And then I talked to a client of mine and 2 other people, and they said Huntsville's where they made the most money. So we'll see how that goes. But I have a 10-foot table. So I'm going to bring I'm going to bring the T-shirts. Well, it's a vendor table. I'm going to bring the T-shirts, the hoodies that I got, the plushies, and I'll just have it all set out. My husband's going to that one, and I can guarantee you there's going to be a lot of complaining. He keeps offering to come with me, and I'm like, you can't sit on the couch for 3 hours without freaking needing to get up and go somewhere. He's like a workaholic, and I'm the complete opposite. I could sit on that couch. I sit on the couch from Thursday after work to Monday night before my last, I have a 4-day weekend because I'm special. And I do nothing but watch YouTube or type, and write up. So I'm perfectly happy, amplified legs that don't work or anything. I'm fine with that. Husband cannot do it. He could tolerate like 2 hours, maybe 3 hours before he's just got to go do something. So I'm like, how are you going to sit in a foldable chair for 8 hours, 4 days straight? I mean, you can't go anywhere. He doesn't like comics, so it's not like you can walk around. And I can't leave him to watch the table for long because he's not going to sell my comic. He hasn't even read it. So, so he's going to come to the Huntsville one because I'm not setting up a 10-foot table. And I've never been to Huntsville, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to have my 2 banners out. I'm going to have this one, and I'm going to have the Anubis out. So that's next month.
Right.
So I'm having my 2 major cons 1 month and back to back. Then the rest are all local. And then I have a kind of like Nashville. It's only 2 days, so I don't know how big it is, but my husband loves Nashville, so we'll see if he goes to that one.
Yeah, I mean, cons are great. It is hard to tell how you're going to be at a con or what's going to sell and all that good stuff. So, talking again, about getting set up and getting ready, prepared for stuff, whenever you're getting your Kickstarter stuff ready, how do you decide, what the big tiers are going to be? What is going to sell, what's not going to sell?
I don't know. You know more than I would. But this is my second major campaign. And my first one had 3 high tiers bought, which was 2 were probably pity buys. Like my client bought one and my brother's best friend bought one. So I was thrilled because I'm getting money, but I wasn't too excited. But the highest tier was someone that knows nothing about me or anything. So I was like, I messaged this guy. I was like, thank you so much. I'm sending you like all this free stuff and I'm love it. But he got my plushie Anubis. So that, I think that was like a $200 tier. So that was exciting for me because I was like, this guy knows nothing. I mean, he has never read the comic. Right. He knows nothing about it. So that was the biggest rush, I think, on my campaign. For this campaign, I have 5 higher tiers, all statues. I have the zombie merman statue. I have the skeleton bird. Then I have the plushie Anubis, the Anubis statue. And then I have the new little angry stat, which I love. I had to order 2 of them. He had to make 2. He might make 3. I don't know. I love this thing.
It looks great.
It looks like, even the artist was like, holy crap. Like, she's like, I don't know how he turned 2D art into the exact replica. Everyone thought it was 3D printed. I go, nope, he makes these by hand. It's this cool, soft, lightweight clay, because I have I have 55 maybe in my collection that he makes me of. I can't say what they are because they're licensed stuff, but he makes so this is kind of a break for him. I made him make those. He'd never made those before. He mostly made like Tim Burton stuff, and they were phenomenal.
So do you do like special tiers, like certain time tiers or anything like that?
No, I know some people said to do the limited, but I think that would just stress me out more. I mean, I don't even know how they really work, but I don't think it would be for me. I do have a lot of add-ons. Like, I have tons of add-ons. I have the plushies as add-ons. I'm going to have the prequel issue that you can only get as an add-on. I'm going to go away. One of my animals are doing something. I have what else did I have? I'm not doing any of the prints because the prints you can only get. You can't even buy the prints on my site. You can only get them in the tiers.
Yeah.
And I love the prints because they're the perfect size to fit in there. Yeah. I just love the art. And they're lightweight. They add up though, man. I put 5 in. I think the higher tiers had like 4. And it was like the size of a comic book by the time I'm done with it. But no, I don't have anything timed. Last time the best selling thing was my PDFs, and I don't have to mail them. So anybody wants to buy PDFs on my site, you go ahead and buy the PDF because I love them. I think I made 35 backers. So I definitely have that again. And I'll probably regret this, but I'm trying out something that everyone told me not to, so I'm probably going to regret it. But if you buy the PDFs, you can buy add-ons if you want.
No.
Like you couldn't before, but there was people that wanted the plushie and they only wanted digital because they collect the digital. And I was one of them on another site. I wanted the stuffed voodoo wolf, and so I was like, you can't get that with the digital. But somebody else wanted one of the Anubis plushies. So it's like, I can't buy it because I'm only digital. So I'm going to offer it, but we'll see how that goes. It still won't be overseas or anything, so it's not like but we'll see. I'll probably regret that. But I'm curious to like how many people would do it, or if it's even worth doing, or so we'll see. I do have not ketchup, the condiment, but you know, you can ketchup. And I did label it as 1 through 4, which my brother's like, which he's an idiot. My brother's like, you already released 1 through 3. The reason why I said that is because if I put issue 4, if someone hasn't read it yet, they're not going to, they're going to think, oh, it's only issue 4. So I put 1 through 4 and we'll see how that goes because everyone always asks if there's ketchup. So I do have the PDF ketchup, and I have the printer ketchup. And I didn't do I might do a higher tier with ketchup, but I have them as add-ons. So if you want to add on an issue, you can. It's not really a big deal. The higher tiers have all the covers though. So I do have 3 covers. I have some cool ones. I have the regular one, obviously, which I don't feel like getting up. But it's the you picked it. I still owe you for that. The homage to Supernatural, which I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite covers. Okay, now I got to get it.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful cover. I think it was done really well.
It was so awesome, and I absolutely. My artist is, he's new, and it just looks. It's just the art is just so perfect, and he did a really, really, really good job. So I can't wait to see that. So that's going to be the main cover, and then I have another cover by, I don't know if you know Fabio, but he is amazing, and I have the original, which I have to buy all my originals.
Wow.
This is I don't know how the camera works. This one is the cover. It's the bar fight because they fight in at the beginning of the issue. That's kind of a brutal fight. This is his one after that. So that's for the next. I have to do 2 in a row because it's like $50 in shipping. So I'm just like, I'll do 2 in a row.
Do you sell originals? Do you try to sell?
No way.
Oh, okay.
No, I am strangely and insanely adamant that I have to own the original if it's hand drawn. I don't know why. I don't like the idea of my characters being in somebody else's possession if it's hand drawn. I don't know why. I got a big fight, which we made up. I got a big fight. My 3rd cover is Ken Hunt, who is phenomenal. He's a pencil and letterer that worked on Batman and Harley Quinn on DC, and he did all this stuff. He's phenomenal, and his art has done. I have his here too. So he did this, which got the most likes anywhere. Even on his own page. The most likes he's ever gotten for months, any of them, all the way down his entire Facebook. And yes, I checked. The highest one was like 321, and this got almost 600 on his. And on my Twitter, who I only have 4,000 people on there, it got almost 600 likes. So this is everyone's favorite.
Yeah.
Now, when I originally asked him to do my artwork, I said, he gave me a price. And he said, but I retain the original. I said, then you can't do my characters. You're not allowed to. you can only do my monsters, because if you're going to keep it in a binder somewhere, fine, but it has to be only my monsters. I will not let my characters be trapped in a book for some psycho reason that'll probably wind me up in a rubber room. But so he said, okay. So it was so popular that he came to me and said, somebody wants to buy it for $500. And I said, you can't sell it to them, right? And he goes, oh, I'm thinking about it. I was like, well, then now I have to buy it. You have to sell it to me because I don't want someone else to have it. So he's actually selling it to me after the next campaign. And I'm actually giving it to my co-writer as a gift, because when she saw it, I thought she was going to have a heart attack. She loved it so much. But anyway, so I cannot, if it's hand-drawn, I have to buy the original.
Right.
So I have his, I have this one, Ian Chase Nichols did, and he's sending me the original. He's doing another cover for me for issue 6, which I don't know why people love doing my covers, but he's super excited about it. And he came and he goes, can I do, another cover for you? And I was like, sure. He goes, can I make it a wraparound? I was like, you can do whatever you want. So he has the 2 characters, and then he's going to have like the the vampires coming from like both the back and the front. And because there is a swarm of vampires in issue 6. So I was like, you can have issue 6. I like to keep the same artists and rotate them. So I don't even know if variants sell, but I like seeing the art, so I guess it's mostly for me. Anyway, so Kent Hunt, I'm getting this original, and we fought about it for an hour at 5 a.m. And he kept saying, call me, and I was like, no, I don't want to talk about it. I was like, I'm so mad. And then he goes, just call me, and I was like, no. So I finally called him. We talked for like 90 minutes, and I was fine once all I said to him was like, why didn't you offer to sell it to me to begin with? I would have had you do my main character. If I can keep it, you can do whoever you want. So he goes, well, it was, artists sell their art all the time. And I was like, but you didn't offer that. You just said you retain the original. That's what you said.
Yeah.
So now,
some artists kind of keep the originals. Some of them sell them. And then, it's one of those things. You just got to kind of go figure out before you go into kind of thing.
Yeah. It took some, me explaining what a psychotic freak I am for him to understand. He thought I was worried about them stealing my characters. And I said, it's not about that. It's about the essence of putting my characters on paper. And I don't want anyone else to hold that essence. It's psychotic and I don't care. That's just how it has to be. So thanks to that happening, now I know that I could buy the next one. So he's actually he's doing my graphic novel cover.
Oh, that's good.
He's going to be doing, now he can do my main characters because I'm allowed to get the original. So he's going to do the 2 main characters, the 2, the parents, the father, the angel father and the demon father, and Anubis all on the cover. So I'm excited to see that. And then I think I have like all my covers for like the book 1 already done.
Awesome. Well, it is the past top of the hour. I think they got another show coming on. Listen, thanks for coming by. Always appreciate talking to you.
Thanks. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.
All right, bye, Pops.
Bye, Pops.
How's it going?
You started 15 minutes late. I was going to give you 15 extra minutes, but you're good. Since Corissa bailed on you so fast.
Man, see that speed? Hey, I'm just glad she came in considering I had that last minute cancellation. So.
Oh, well, if you'd have had nobody, then you and I probably would have had part of that earlier conversation, but live.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. All right, Pops. I'll let
everybody's going to be talking about it anyway.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody is talking about it from, my conversation.
I can only hope good things because it's for comic people. It's not for lawn chairs. You know what I mean? It's for comic people, man. That's, gotta love it.
Exactly.
All right. I'm going to play a couple of ads on the way out. At 6:30, Rich is going to be out here doing a class.
Awesome.
A class, Paul. Might want to tune in on that one. Just saying. It's all action, guys. It's all action around here. All right. We're going to play the rest of our sponsor ads. We're going to get out. Peace, everybody.
honest world, come in and take a seat. Pay us no attention, it's all conspiracy. We have satire and parody, some funny, some perverse. If none of it's offensive to you, you'd be the first.
Friends, Morgan Quaid here to tell you about a little project called The Crimson Folly, a D&D-inspired comic anthology which takes place in a fantasy tavern called, you guessed it, The Crimson Folly. I'm working with more than a dozen artists from all over the world to bring this story to life through sequential comic artwork, intricate portrait pieces, sketches, and of course, words! My aim is to produce a combined comic story and art book. The first 40 pages will be a comic book telling the main story of the folly and using different artists to build out each section of the story. The art book will then contain sketches and short stories relating to characters from that story. So if you're a fan of D&D, fantasy artwork, comics, or just great storytelling, you'll love The Crimson Folly. Yes, you will.
Fairview's coffee has mysteriously gone missing. Mayhem ensues when strange, coffee-craving zombies plague the city. Detective Mickey Potatoes, an overworked public servant, uncovers why ordinary citizens are losing their minds and how to stop the coffee apocalypse. But it involves the mafia. And when you're dealing with mafia crime families, nothing is ever easy. The mafia controls everything in the city, including the police, including him. If he breaks the mafia, they will break him. So, the city is without coffee. The city is burning before his very eyes, but he's powerless. Detective Potatoes has the power to stop the coffee apocalypse, but if he does, he could lose everything.
Bringing you sex, sass, and style. Buckle up and unlock your imagination for a fun adventure with these death-dealing dames. They sail the galaxy in search of spoils. The most dangerous acquisition, and the most fruitful, are the legendary Splinters of Yggdrasil. The Splinters are magical artifacts forged from the Tree of Life that wreak havoc on the universe. The missions are perilous, but the bounty is glorious. Enjoy our hyper-fictional wonderland. How is a pirate ship sailing through space? 'Cause magic. How do they heal so quickly after battle? 'Cause magic. How are they able to communicate through jewelry? 'Cause magic. It's all about the characters. Abo, rough, robotic, ready. Mo, carefree, callous, courageous. Mistress Graven, daring, diplomatic, dominating. Betsy, academic, accountable, aristocratic. Nefara, ancient, assured, adrenaline junkie. Bruto, proud, prominent, protective. Fisty, independent, incendiary, invigorating. Roxy, superficial, scarred, secretive. Once you get to know this diverse crew of mythical miscreants, you'll be anxious to find out what trouble they'll get into on the next episode. Go to abogrizzly.com and order both halves of the first episode today.
America's southern border has become a war zone. Human traffickers, drug smugglers, and terrorists flow across the Rio Grande with impunity, secure in the knowledge that no one will stop them. A distant federal government lectures Americans on their privilege while punishing overworked Border Patrol agents who were helpless to stem the tidal wave of invaders and determined migrants. Second-generation Cuban-American Marcos Zamora is a military vet, more patriotic than most Americans. No longer able to ignore the chaos at his doorstep, he acts. Joined by his best friend Gus, they hit the border every night, saving lives while stopping violent drug cartels and other opportunists. The government reacts with fury at Marco's attempts to preserve American sovereignty, deploying the full might of their enforcement agencies. But Marcos understands that the only thing the rich and powerful fear is bad publicity, and he records every encounter. Whoever he is, this private American must be stopped. Illustrated by Richard Bonk and written by Eisner winner Mike Barron, Private American is his version of Captain America, and maybe a little Punisher, taking part in this ongoing, violent, and very real battle of good versus evil in the war for American sovereignty. Grab your copy at theprivateamerican.com.
We have a secure border, and that is a priority for our administration.
Revenge, the sweetest morsel to the mouth that ever was cooked in hell.
I'm alive. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man walking. Till I die. And kill.
In a world where creatures of myth and legend exist, a covert task force is charged with keeping humanity safe from supernatural threats. And when young Nancy Moon stumbles into the eternal battle between good and evil, she finds... Oh my god, will you shut up? What's happening? Agent Beckett here. Aren't you tired of stuff like that? Want something different? Roll the tape. Whoops. Sorry about that. That's a song I'm writing for my ex. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that's more like it. Alrighty. Welcome to the world of the mythicals. We have it all. Monsters. Magic. Government agents. He's the strong silent type. This guy. Ugh, gross, dude. Get some kind of cream or something. Lots of 90s style action. Pew pew pew. And that strong female lead alluded to earlier. Not to mention a dashing field commander with a great sense of fashion. Look at those glasses. South River Studios presents The Mythicals, Issue 1. Buy it, if you dare. Ugh. Will you can it already? How'd you get free? Now beat it before I lose my cool.
So what are you waiting for? Back it today. Like right now.
Back the Mythicals today.
How do you end this thing? How do you put the where's the brakes on this bus? I forgot.
Jazz hands. Jazz hands are done.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.